in that last clip, you will have seen me start A Court of Whatever and Whatever, Wings and Ruin. I got like maybe 10, 12 pages in at that point, and then I got it on my Kindle because I got the little remote clicky thing for Christmas from my cousin, and I was like, I must. How does it even work? I have it clipped onto my finger and I'm like pressing the button to like turn the page. I can't feel anything. Anyway, so it's magic, but it's also so amazing because I get like just like the tiniest shot of like stimulation whenever I press the button to turn the page, and it keeps me engaged. I'm like, yes, let me press the button again. It's really weird. It's probably some weird like psychological scientific thing that I can't really care to research, but it's so exciting. So I had A Court of Whatever and Whatever. I keep forgetting. Wings and Ruin. Okay. I got it on my Kindle for 7 days from my library up in New York, because the Findlay Library gives you 21 days, the Westchester Library gives you 7 days. So I only had it for 7 days, didn't finish it, then I got returned to the library, so now I'm waiting for it on hold again, and it has put a massive stop on my reading because of this, because I'm not able to do this. So now I have this. I am almost halfway through. That is how much I've loved reading it on my Kindle with my little clicker. I feel like that's important to note. It would not be as much fun reading it on my Kindle if I didn't have this clicker. The wait for ebooks for it is really long. So honestly, I think I should probably just finish it physically. I think my goal today is to get halfway. Ooh, $6.99. Okay, that's super easy. So it's just $3.50. So it's only like 40 pages, which is super easy, super chill. So I'm gonna read these 40 pages physically. It's also probably like a week and a half since I started it, and I just haven't updated. Also, I kind of told myself that this would be like a spoiler-filled vlog. So this is the third book. In ACOTAR, there's this girl, Feyre. I mean, I don't even know why. No, I'm not gonna explain the whole thing. I'm at the part where, okay, basically, Feyre was in the spring court because her and Rhys did that thing at the end of the last book, and so she was like, I'm gonna play good. I'm gonna play the good girl in the spring court, and then she left, killing everybody. No, that's not true. And then so now they're back in the night court, and they need to unite everybody to save the kingdom from this like island attack. And my one problem right now is that, so Rhys is supposed to be like this like really like good person ruling this peaceful world, but then there's the Court of Nightmares, which is where all the bad people are, and he's being a bad person, like ruling them. So I'm like, you can't be this good person up on your high horse and then also do this really like be this like really rude person and like do these horrible things. Maybe the reason all of these people are so terrible is because like they have some influence on like from you, like, so that's my problem right now. They just got out of the Court of Nightmares. Elaine, I want to know more about. That's my only thing. I'm like, oh, she's got some important thing going on, like with her like seeing and hearing really far away vibes. There's something there, and if it's not expanded upon, I'm literally gonna hate this book forever. Although it is shaping up to be my favorite so far. you know, there's just more plot, which I feel like is the bare minimum for a book, but is not the thing that is trending nowadays with romantic fantasy. Anyway, here we go. Again, continuing. What? Okay, bye. I am officially halfway through. Hybern has attacked the summer court. I hate Reese. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion, but I hate him. I feel like he's so selfish. Like, Hybern attacked the summer court and he was like, what? And I was like, you didn't think that they would attack somewhere right in the middle to separate? I guess they're not right in the middle, but like somewhere above the spring court, so you, like, okay. But again, I am really enjoying it. The war has started. There's about to be a big battle, so I honestly might just sit here and read more of that until the battle ends a little bit, because that's just the most interesting part of these kind of stories. So that's where we're at. I have just got to the part in A Court of, dang it, Wings and Ruin, where everyone is meeting together. There was so much stuff that just was unnecessary, like random one-page scenes, but I was like, why? Like, what is the point of this? Like, they went to see, like, the bone carver again, this guy who is, like, super shady in a prison, and, like, the only purpose was to, like, show Reese that, like, Feyre sees their future kid, and I was like, that, and it was also just to confirm what he wanted them to get, and he didn't change his mind, so it was dumb. Anyway, so there's 7 courts in this world, and they all wanted to, like, or Reese wanted all of them to, like, come together to figure out, like, how they're gonna defeat Hybern, this, like, bad guy. And obviously the spring court, Tamlin, and those guys who suck. No one thought they were gonna come, and he just did. He just showed up. We're about to continue to read it, but everyone was like, oh my god, shock. And I was like, there's no way he's not gonna come. That's drama. And anyway, I have been foreseeing a lot of things that have been happening, and it's just going on and on and on and on and on. It's very slow. So I'm excited that some plot twisty stuff has happened. And even though I knew Tamlin was going to show up, I'm like, I want the drama. So I'm low-key excited for them to, like, come together again and him to be a little baby. The drama is dramaing. I'm, like, 2 pages into the chapter. I don't really care about any of these characters, but watching them fight is the most hilarious thing. They're, like, all super, like, morally gray. Even the main characters. I don't care what anyone says. Everyone is morally gray in this series, and also, like, half written. But it's just hilarious. And I don't care about anything, and the drama is incredible. And so dumb, but so entertaining. I also just want to say one thing now that Tamlin's back in the picture. All he knows is this, like, really, really terrible facade that Reese has put on. So all of his, like, opinions and, like, oh my god, he's such a like, Tamlin saying that Reese is, like, such a terrible person, and, like, what does he say? Like, a sadist or whatever. All of those things Reese has shown him. So that's all that Tamlin knows about him. So he might be, like, a really, like, pathetic man, but, like, he doesn't know any of this stuff. So how the hell is he supposed to, like, be on their side right now? He's kind of in the dark. So yeah, it's just something that is on my mind. It is, like, the crack of dawn, so I'm extremely tired. But I only have 200 pages left. Technically, only, like, 190. What I assume is the big battle is about to happen. It better be. Although there are 200 pages left, so maybe it's not. But also, it could be, because I am, like, 90% sure this is, like, the last book in a plot line. And Sarah J. Maas loves to, like, make her battles super big and long, and which is the way to do it, because if you're gonna do a big battle, it has to be more than 100 pages with, like, reprieve here and there. So I am really enjoying the plot. What is pissing me off is the word mate. If you've watched my Throne of Glass video thing, you know that I hate that. I don't like the mating bond, and the fact that they can like talk through it mentally. It just doesn't make any sense. They're having like full-blown conversations that could just be in person, like in a different room, just for the hell of it. Not even like scandalous conversations, just conversations about what's happening in the world. And then there's the occasional like sexual innuendo through the mating bond that is just so unnecessary. And I do know it's a fantasy romance, so I guess it's necessary for that aspect, but for me, it just doesn't do anything. So I know that I'm not the target audience for this book, which is fine. It just is really, really annoying to me. Just also because everyone else in the room, when they're telepathically talking to each other, knows that they're doing it and does not like it. So it's just a storytelling thing to make them the like end all be all of everything. There'll be a really big like plot line that'll be happening, and Sarah J Maas is like, oh right, this is a fantasy romance, so I have to throw in some random like really horny comments just to keep the romance readers engaged. And I hate it because it doesn't do anything and it's just annoying. So I'm liking the plot. I'm excited for this battle. I just do not like Reese. Feyre's okay, but she's kind of up on her high horse now and won't take accountability for any of the really, really terrible stuff she's done. In the last couple of scenes, people have confronted her about destroying the spring court. It doesn't even have anything to do with Tamlin. Destroying the spring court and like ruining a bunch of people there, just like people who live there, killing the random fairies that Aramantha had her kill in the first book, selling out Claire Better's family and Claire back in the first book. All these things, people have been like, hey, that was a really shitty thing of you to do, even though you were under duress and like all that kind of stuff, but like no apology. I'm just not a fan of any of the characters except Mor and Nesta. I'm like, okay. Oh, and Elaine, obviously. They're like, okay, badass female people, badass women. I know Nesta gets her own book and it's apparently the smuttiest of them all. So I'm not looking forward to that. But right now, I love them. Okay, so I'm hopefully gonna finish this today. I want to get it the hell out of my head so that I can start the tiny one, Court of Frost and Starlight, so that I can just have one book left to read, A Court of Silver Flames, which I'm not looking forward to. So I don't know why. It makes sense in my head. One thing that I am realizing as we go through all these battles is that they're very half-assed. The battles are so quick, and Feyre is kind of just there because she's narrating, so it's harder to like get the full scope of what's going on. And it's also extremely vague. While everyone else like does all the work, she's just there watching, which is not fun, and I don't like it. But hey, we continue. I am on page 592, which means I have like 108 pages left. I think I'm definitely gonna finish it today. I just need a break right now. Feyre and Asriel just went into Hybern's army to get Elaine, which is also one of those things where it's so quick and successful. There keep being these like little side quests that continue to be very successful, and it's just a little bit repetitive and boring. The thing that is making me want to take a break right now, though, is that Mor just came out to Feyre, and while I appreciate queer rep, it was done terribly. I need Sarah J Maas to like stay in her straight lane, because I guess it wasn't terrible, but like it was just like she opened with I prefer females, and I was like, oh, okay, so you're a lesbian, but now you've like slept with all these guys but are so confident. And then I was like so up in arms about it, and then I continued reading, and it was like she's bi with a preference for girls, which is great. Good for her. It pissed me off a little bit because it was clearly just for like Farrah's benefit. Like they had fought, and Moore's apology is that, oh, I'm bi, sorry that I like overreacted. That's how I read. And then it ended with Farrah being like, oh my god, I could play matchmaker for you. Like, go away. That's what I mean by what are you doing? So yeah, I just need a break, and I'm hungry, and my brain is so frustrated. I finished A Court of Wings and Ruin. I did really like it. I'm gonna give it 4 stars, which is such a compliment for me, given that I gave ACOTAR 2 stars and A Court of Mist and Fury 3 stars. So they just keep getting better. You can't make, there's no way in the entire world that I would be persuaded to give this 5 stars, simply because of the romance aspect. It's just, again, I'm well aware this is not, for me, I am not this book's target audience. I am obsessed with Nesta. I'm obsessed with Moore. I'm obsessed with Elaine. Like, all of them. Vasa, the, like, Firebird Queen. Can I get a book on her, please? Like, that's the thing that is in my brain right now, is that it just felt so quick. And I've read Kingdom of Ash. I know what Sarah J. Maas can do in, like, big wars. So I think it needed a series. Because at the end, it was like a big Avengers Endgame Portals moment where everyone just, like, came and, like, met up with this army. And I was like, I want to know more about this Firebird Queen, who only got, like, a descriptor paragraph. My friend did tell me that the 6th book is going to be about Elaine, and I do know that Silver Flames is about Nesta. So there's hope. It did make me cry. I did get teary-eyed when their dad showed up with all his ships. And that was the Avengers Endgame Portals moment where they all came, and I knew Lucian wasn't going to get a big thing, but I think it would be so cool if he had a point of view of him getting Vasa. And I want to know more about her. She's like a cursed queen and a firebird and is like a prisoner on like the mainland. I want to know more about her. I want an entire story about her. Anyway, I do think it could have done very well as a Throne of Glass long series. I just think nothing is going to compare to like the epicness of Kingdom of Ash, of that big battle in Kingdom of Ash. So she's done. Thank goodness. Which means I can start A Court of Frost and Starlight, which is the original cover. Yeah, I got this from Book Outlet like a while ago. So this has been on my shelf. This physical copy has been on my shelf for probably like 2 years. But I was like, I just want one pretty edition because the new covers are not pretty. So I have heard this is not a good book, but it's so short. Are you kidding me? It's like 220 pages. I could finish this today. All right, let's read the summary. It's a Christmas book. Sorry, it's a Christmas novella. The winter solstice things, and they're gonna rebuild. I almost said it was probably their wedding, because that tends to be what novellas are about. But no, it's probably her getting pregnant with their kid, because that's an Easter egg from Kingdom of Ash, and it was hinted heavily at in Wings and Ruin. So honestly, I could start this now and be done with it. I don't know yet. Okay, bye. It's been 2 seconds since I finished A Court of Wings and Ruin. And I opened it. If there's one thing I hate, it's an inaccurate map. What do you mean the wall's still there? And now we're switching between first and third person point of view between characters. Feyre and Rhys are in first person, and then Cassian comes along and it's just in third person. You can't do that in the same book. If Frost and Starlight is in third person, great, I love third person. But you can't do that. I mean, you can, but like, it's frustrating as a reader. Oh, whatever. I finished A Court of Frost and Starlight. This is just fan fiction written by Sarah J. Maas about Sarah J. Maas books. It's literally just everybody being all happy and delightful during like Christmas time, basically, like the winter solstice. It does set up some fascinating topics having to do with Nesta and Cassian, and also Mor, although I'm doubtful that Mor is going to get a lot of screen time in the A Court of Silver Flames. But there was a really, really intriguing moment, like right at the end, where she like spies like this like pool of darkness, and I was like, anyway, I love Mor. I love Nesta. I like really, really actually enjoy the dynamic between Nesta and Cassian. So depending on how much smut there is in Silver Flames, I feel like I'm at least going to like the characters. So there's that going for it. Other than like setting things up, this was literally just like shopping and walking and shopping and walking. And then it was Christmas, and then I keep calling it that. It's the winter solstice. I understand that that's what they're celebrating, but it's basically just Christmas. But they can't do Christmas because there's no Jesus and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was kind of entertaining. Like, nothing happened, but it was entertaining. So I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. Also, why did they ever change the covers? Are you kidding me? This is gorgeous. I did also change the setup, which is why I put literally all 3 of these books in the same spot up here. And so now they're over here. I started A Court of Silver Flames, I want to say like 3 or 4 days ago. I got it on my phone / Kindle on the Kindle app. So I've been clicking away when it's on my Kindle. And I've been reading it at work as well. I thought that I was going to be able to go to a coffee shop today and sit and read, but that's not happening anymore. So basically, in the physical book, which I have not read any of yet, I'm on page 162. I am liking it a lot better than any of the other books. No sexy stuff has happened, which I am grateful for, but I know that that's not gonna last. I just really love Nesta, and she's so traumatized and so just like down in the dumps and not wanting to do anything, which I think that combination of the fact that I really like her as a character, she's so headstrong and so like it knows exactly what she wants, and the like super trauma is just really intriguing to me, and I'm super excited to like see where it goes and see how she does it, and hopefully it'll be on her own and not with the help of a man, but doubtful. So far I'm really, really liking it, and it's different than, you know, like Heir of Fire or A Court of Mist and Fury with those characters, because I wasn't super into Aelin or Feyre. But I think now that it's Nesta and she's actually an interesting character with like depth, it's really fun to read and really interesting. I love the librarians. Every single library scene is just right up my alley, and I'm super into it every single time. I hope it actually goes somewhere with that. But for now, I am reading slowly and surely. I do want to finish it by the end of January. It's currently the 24th. So totally doable, but who knows. Scratch literally all of what I said in the last clip. This book is so boring. And I'm tired. I've taken to literally just putting it on endless scroll on my phone and just scroll to feel like I'm actually doing something, which is a really weird and not correct way. of talking about my phone and all that stuff. But it feels like it's going quicker than if I was clicking or if I was like page turning these like really thin pages. Last time I was on chapter 38, I am not there anymore. Let me check. Okay, I'm further than I thought I was. Okay, I'm on page 431, which is exciting. I don't know why I said it like that, but I've done the thing where I like mark every 50 pages, so I can take out the 400 page mark. Anyway, like I said, it's boring. I'm so bored. Every single smut scene is like the best sex they've ever had, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. And it's so detailed, and I just don't need all that. The part where she like found the mask in the bog was my favorite part of the entire thing, because it was actually interesting, and it was actually like something was actually happening and plot was being furthered, and Nesta like was like on her own, didn't need no man, which is not a problem with this book, but like an annoying thing for me personally with this book is that she's so fierce and strong and independent, but Cassian is like the only one who can like pull her out of a trance. And I'm like, can she just do that on her own? Why do we need a man? Anyway. Yeah, and the guys are just one note. They're so boring. Nesta's interesting, but only because she has, you know, like the weird powers that nobody knows about yet. So I'm trudging. It's the 30th today. I want to get it done by the end of tomorrow, but honestly, who knows? So I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna cuddle up and read it on my phone because I cannot be bothered to pick up this chunky book. So it's January 31st and I finished A Court of Silver Flames. I haven't updated at all the entire time, but I've kept notes, and so I'm gonna go through them. The house was my favorite character of the entire book. The fact that like Nesta like made it herself, like her friend, was just so, I wish there was more of it. Rhys still is pissing me off. I still hate him. I have always hated him. He's so selfish. Especially with the whole like, oh, let's not tell Feyre that the baby inside of her will kill her when it comes out. And then getting mad at Nesta when Nesta tells her that the baby's gonna kill her. And then interchangeably every single person in the entire book talking about Nesta behind her back. And I'm not saying that like Nesta's completely like not at fault. It's just so, just it's back and forth and it's so unnecessary. I still think that like there are still these things that like Rhys is just like, it's so not like terrible, but like so like annoying and frustrating of him to do, and like are not relevant and do not need to be done. Like he does not need to be this much of a dick. And then there's this list of things that have never been mentioned the entire time and were clearly just made up again for a new spin-off book. We have the Dread Trove, which is a really cool concept. It just obviously just came out of nowhere, and the Cauldron in the last series was like, or in the ACOTAR, like in the core series was like its own thing, and then now we have these other things. Brialyn, obviously the queen, we like knew of back in A Court of Mist and Fury and A Court of Wings and Ruin. She was just really half written, and we didn't really see her at all. We just knew of her as this presence in A Court of Silver Flames. The Valkyrie are this like, I don't know what they are, but they're like this group of people who like are well known enough amongst the people who have lived in this world for years to have been given at least a shout out in the core trilogy. And so now that they've just popped up, like information on them has just randomly popped up, is whatever. But all of these things that are were just made up for the sake of a spin-off book, which I know is a common thing. I just would have liked it to be less obvious. There were also so many things that like never got touched upon ever again. Like, I don't remember who, I think it was Eris saying that there's like a prison under the mountain, that's the prison, and then there's under the mountain, and then like what about the Illyrian mountain? I forget the name of it. It would make so much sense for there to be like a palace or a cave or something under there, and nothing ever came of that. And then they constantly kept saying, oh yeah, like there's a fourth member of the Dread Trove, and nothing happened. And all of these things could have been expanded upon had there not been a focus on the romance, which I understand is the point of this book. It is a fantasy romance, more so than any of the other books in the series. It just wasn't for me, and I accept that. But yeah, I just wish things had been different and expanded upon more. Oh, also, the entire thing ending with Feyre again, I'm like, it's fine. Obviously the baby plot was like, obviously she needed to do something with that, and like I guess Feyre and Rhys are like her, like Sarah J Maas's like core characters, so it's fine, whatever. Cassian is one note. Cassian was so bland. He only did stuff because Rhys wanted him to, or he was horny. It led like so much of this, like it was like Nesta, and then it just ended with Feyre. Like that's how Nesta used her power, and I'm like, no, what if it was for you? Because the other reason she used her powers was to save Cassian from Briellen. Yeah, so those are my thoughts. I gave it 3 stars. Obviously, it's not my cup of tea. It's not geared towards me, and I knew that going into it. But it was a slog. I didn't read any of the physical book. I literally just read it on my phone / Kindle. So, and I had every intention of reading it physically and like getting some footage, but this is just how it's gonna be, because this is how I was mentally capable of just getting it done. And now I don't have any books left to read on my physical bookshelves. There are books that I want to read, but I don't have them. So every single book in my room right now, I have already read, which is crazy to me. So now I'm gonna have to go get more books. Okay, I finished it. I finished a quarter of, what is it, Thorns and Roses, until there's a new one, which I will be reading because allegedly it's about Elaine. I said that before. So that's it.